Hello, everybody, and welcome to our Vampire the Masquerade 5th Edition Chronicle Vancouver Adjacent by Night. As a warning, this is a mature game, and it explores some dark and troubling themes. Our players have discussed consent and boundaries, and we collectively avoid situations that may be triggering. Some of these may include body horror, gore, violence, loss for character agency, which we saw in the last episode, gaslighting, mind control, and many others. The players will always let me know if anything gets uncomfortable by using yellow and red cards in our private chat. If you as a viewer ever feel uncomfortable or triggered, please pause and step away. Our streams are available on YouTube after the game, and you can always come back to the episode if you feel ready, or you can skip to the next one, and we will generally do a bit of a sum up at the beginning. So, thank you to our wonderful host and sponsor, Level Up Dice, for all of this stuff and for giving us the opportunity to share our story with you. Please support them by purchasing their exquisite dice or spreading the word about them on social media. And today's, we're going to go with, let's see if I can see what I can see. No, wait, there we go. No, other way. Can you see the Nosferatu on there? It's awesome. It's a heavy metal aluminum. I don't know why they call it that. Aluminum dice. So go pick those up on, it'll be that way. Yeah. There's going to be a link in the chat for that. So let's introduce our vampires, which some of them seem to be missing at the moment. Let's start with Zachary.
Oh, good. I'm not missing. Hi, I'm Charlie Lawrence, and I'm the Malkavian Primogen.
And Samantha.
Hi, I'm Samantha McLarty, and I am the La Sombra Primogen, and I think I might be in a little bit of trouble. Yeah, I know.
And Lex.
I'm Lex. I'm Cassandra, the Toreador Primogen, maybe? Guess we'll find out.
Storyteller called you that at the end of the last episode. That's official.
Yeah. All right, canon.
Storyteller did not call that at the end of the last episode.
Oh, I will roll this tape back.
Someone go check.
Somebody look. Where's
So-
Harley when you need him?
Patrick is here, but he will be introducing himself after the break, give or take. And
Dramatically appropriate moment.
Yes. Brennan is unavailable for this particular evening. So as you can see, Charlotte will be leaving a note for the rest of the coterie, and kind of just a love letter to the coterie saying, I didn't do anything wrong, which is perfectly in character for Charlotte. Speaking of what happened in the past, last episode was the second part of our Toreador Party, the fancy Toreador Party, where in the first part of it, 2 episodes ago, everything seemed to be going great for the coterie. It was all buttermilk and honey. Everybody was having fun at the party. Nothing was possibly even remotely going wrong. There were a few hiccups here and there, but then at the end of that episode, someone's sire showed up, and it was Cassandra, and Connor was spraying down the walls with majesty. And in the first interaction of this particular coterie with a level 5 discipline,
You handled it excellently.
Sure. If that's what we want to call that. Yes, excellently. That's a word.
Sure.
So it kind of devolved, I'm going to say, from there. And the coterie kind of ended up owing some boons. And there was final death of somebody. Speaking of which, we have to deal with a particular check for that. Elena, what is your current humanity?
Oh dear.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Humanity, I have 5.
5 humanity? All right. So roll 4 black dice for me.
Remorse roll time.
Let's see if you feel bad about killing somebody who did absolutely nothing wrong.
I might feel bad about ruining Cassandra's party.
Yeah, make a roll humanity for that.
Don't jinx the roll.
I I got 2 successes.
You're good.
Okay, you kind of feel bad about killing somebody who didn't do anything wrong to you, but let's just kind of have it rationalized in Elena's brain as ruining Cassandra's party.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna go with.
Yeah,
Oops.
that it's a more personal connection really than anything, because that person you don't really care about necessarily. Did anybody else have any humanity stains?
Not that I'm aware of. There was the possibility of me having one, but that was never addressed, and thus I assume that they lived and everything is fine.
That's an assumption.
That's what I'm also.
I have not been told that I gained a stain, so there we go.
That's an assumption. We're assuming that. So from that point, I have a list again, because it's going to be one of those absolutely amazing episodes where I get to see everybody like do a whole bunch of acting, and it's going to be a kind of group therapy episode. So we're going to have,
Again.
yeah, we're when things kind of go massively wrong for the coterie, everybody kind of gels back together, and we have a bit of a group therapy
We're getting pretty
session.
good at these, I think, by now.
Therapy and talking out your problems is an important technique,
Yes,
important tool to have.
especially when somebody kind of mass manipulates you with a whole bunch of majesty and there's
Et
some
cetera, et
fallout.
cetera.
So we're going to open this particular scene with the Elena and Cassandra scene. So I'm assuming Cassandra is going to be going to the floor at Charlotte Industries that Elena and Harley share. Not Charlie yet. Whoops.
Ooh.
Freudian slip on my part.
It's not canon yet.
Hello,
Not yet.
Freud? Is that you?
Give him like a week to date first.
Yeah, I'd say if Cassandra's coming to the floor where I'm at, since I'm the only one there and it's my side of the floor, I have like partitions or a wall built or something up to separate from Harley's. It's completely pitch black. Like, not gonna be able to see through it. Pitch black.
Is the door just like open? Because Cassandra would probably knock.
Probably. At least cracked a little.
So she kind of does that like, parent faux knock thing where you kind of knock into the opening door. Okay, well, I don't know if this much darkness means you're here or not here. So if you're here, like blink a flashlight or something.
You see, just for a second, like red eyes, because I am going to use the eyes of the beast. Just why not?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, it's kind of disconcerting because there's pitch black darkness, and then there are two bright glowing red eyes that open up.
Whoa, those are not flashlights, but I will accept them. Assuming this is Elena and not something horrible about to attack me in the doorway. Hi.
And at that, when I will dismiss like the shadowy darkness that I have, and I'm just sitting in the center, like in the middle of the floor. How was your party after I left?
I think we got things back on track.
That's good to hear.
I don't think anyone really noticed what went on up there, not after it was all sort of cleaned up.
And how are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
Never better.
That seems like something of an exaggeration.
I think that we're all pretty good at doing exaggerations at this point.
Yeah, you're not wrong. And Cassandra's gonna come in and are you sitting on the floor or?
Mm-hmm.
So Cassandra's gonna come in and sit on the floor across from you, like a couple feet away. So do you want to talk about what happened there?
Not particularly, but I'm fairly certain that I'm not going to get away from not talking, from talking about it. That's why you're here, isn't it?
Yeah,
I
that's
thought so.
why I led with the question.
Yeah, I thought as much.
It's good for you to talk about those things. You just let it fester inside. It's not going to get any better.
So what happened?
What do you mean?
He wanted to continue to talk to you. Is that what happened?
Not much else, honestly. He wanted a boon for his support. And then he wanted a couple more boons for, the cover job of what happened there. But I don't actually really know what he wanted to talk to me about. He never really got the chance.
I don't know much about your story, Cassandra. I don't really know much about what happened during your embrace. All I know is that he was not kind to you, and the fact that he brought that other one with him specifically to upstage you on your special night gave me the impression whatever it was that he wanted to talk to you about was probably not good. But I'm sure he would have framed it in a way to where it would have sounded like it was good. At least for a moment.
You're probably right.
He had a lot of influence. And I don't really trust what it was he was doing there. No matter what it might have seemed. Just a talk or not just a talk. We don't go that over the top when we just want to talk. Not unless there's something else that we need.
Well, whatever it was he needed, he's probably going to get it since he got us pretty over a barrel after everything that happened.
I wouldn't exactly say that. Nobody else really knows what happened in there except for us and for him.
That's true, but he still got away with 3 majors out of the encounter.
Did he?
Mm-hmm.
But did he really? Are you sure about that? Because I don't recall ever hearing about it, and I don't think that there were any other harpies in the room.
Are you suggesting I should start falsifying my harpy records? More than I already do?
That was something I was going to say, is that aren't you already doing that? Look, you can either owe him the 3 boons, or you don't.
I think you mean we can either owe him the 3 boons or we can wait and see what other trouble he decides to make for us.
I think something that we are all sort of failing to realize is that we are waiting for people to make more trouble for us and expecting it, but not really doing anything about it. We are reactionary. The one time that we tried to do something, your sire shows up to do whatever it is that he intended on doing, which I'm fairly certain was just to pin you into a corner, and not in a good way for you.
You're not wrong. I don't really know what he was doing here or what he wanted or where all of this sudden influence in Vancouver is coming from. It's something we're going to have to deal with, but I'm a lot more concerned about how you reacted. What happens if next time there is someone around to witness it besides us? What if Bo and Rico had still been downstairs? What if one of the Bruja decided to make a problem? What if the room was full of nos that we didn't manage to glitter?
What if? There's always a what if, Cassandra. We don't really fly under the radar very easily. Like, we don't try to hide as much as we are supposed to in a Camarilla city. We don't do that, but we're good at cleaning up the what ifs and the potential problems. And despite the way that you think that my actions might have been careless, there was nobody else there to witness it so much. Not anyone that would really matter. Like,
Okay,
that
then
much I knew.
forget the witnesses. Let's talk about the fact that you killed a girl for the hell of it.
No. I killed the girl because she was wearing a bigger tiara than you were.
And I appreciate that.
I killed the girl because your sire decided to try to make a bigger impression than what he should have. I killed a girl because he was using that girl to further manipulate you.
Well, once upon a time, I was that girl.
But you're
And
not
I'm just
anymore.
real lucky he didn't bring anyone near there, Elena. Because that could have just as easily been me.
Did he not just... Didn't he just embrace you and then leave you?
Yeah.
So you're not that girl.
No, I'm worse off than she was.
Are you?
My point is, you can't
She's dead.
You can't just attack people. You can't. I mean, we're seeing the fallout from it already. I mean, how many times you want to get locked in Charlotte's basement?
That was a different scenario.
Was it?
It was. There were other factors at play. Factors that I could not control.
And yet both times it ended with you biting one of us.
To be fair, I had no intentions on hurting you, but I couldn't do anything to him, and I didn't want you in there alone with him because I did not know what he was going to do to you. Would you have expected somebody, if the roles were reversed, would you have expected somebody that was in his coterie to do that to him?
Nope, I definitely wouldn't have expected that in any circumstance.
That was the point. We didn't really have an element of surprise. That was a surprise.
Yep, surprise certainly defines it. I'm worried about you.
That is kind of you, but there's not really a need to worry.
Really?
I'm fine. I'm doing the job that Charlotte pretends to pay me for.
I don't care about your work performance. I'm not in charge of the bonuses here. I'm worried about you. You just, in the past few months, we've watched you really start to spiral, and now you've got this Charlie thing on the side, and I'm worried that you're just drowning how you really feel in someone who makes you feel better.
Funny you should mention Charlie. What do you know about his situation? That seemed to be very personal.
Charlie and Connor, you mean?
Yes.
I know Charlie did some accounting stuff for him back in the day, and after Connor left me, I went to Charlie because we were friends and I didn't know who else to turn to. So I'm sure he was just as pissed off on my behalf as you were, probably more, since he was the first person to hear what happened.
I like to think that I know each of you pretty well at this point. Certain behaviors can be counted on pretty accurately. And Charlie was almost as bad off as I was before. Pretty sure that's not just because of what happened with Connor and you. Have you ever seen Charlie get that upset or react in such a way?
Well, there was that one time we got attacked in here. I think you're deflecting pretty hard right now, is what I think. We're talking about you. I'm going to yell at Charlie later.
What do you want me to say, Cassandra? Do you want me to say that that I'm fine, that or that I had an accident and I slipped up a little bit, or that I made a mistake, or what do
I
you
want you to
want
tell me
to
what
say?
you really feel. Because it's not fine. And I think everyone can see that, including Charlotte, for God's sake.
That
Charlotte.
is- that is where you're all wrong, you see. I feel perfectly fine. What you are expecting to come out of me right now is an apology, or me to give you some sort of admission that I'm not okay, or that it was a mistake or an accident. But the truth is, Cassandra, it wasn't. It was a calculated risk. It was a statement and a point that I needed to make, and one that I did.
So if it was such not a big deal, such a calculated risk, why'd you bail? Stand by your decision, Elena.
Because that was the only way I was going to get something from him in return. He had you completely enthralled with him, and I needed you not to be completely enthralled with him, so that whatever it was he was going to ask was less influenced. You give and you get.
I appreciate that you took care of me. I do. But I think you're using it as an excuse to do stupid, dangerous things. And I don't know why. And I'm not going to pretend to know why, because I don't know your story. I don't know your history. And I know you well enough not to pry. But I don't think you're good. And you can tell me you're fine and you can tell me you feel great, but I don't think you do deep down. I think you feel really bad. And I think you feel really alone after everything that's happened to you since we've all gotten together, maybe more alone than when you were actually alone. And I think that you're doing things that are going to hurt us and diminish us because you're hoping we'll leave you alone, because that's more comfortable.
I think that that is what you're hoping. But what you don't understand is this is actually probably the first time since I can't even remember mine that it all makes sense now. Everything makes sense and I understand so much better who I am.
Maybe that is true. Maybe I am wrong. But I'm still afraid I'm not. And for whatever it might be worth, even though you aren't looking for it, I do forgive you for biting me.
Oops.
Oh
Cassandra-
yeah, you're just fine.
There's no need for you to be afraid.
I'm not
of
afraid of
me,
you.
Not of anybody. I have a job that I'm going to do. I'm going to make sure that you remain intact and in the position that you want to be in. No matter what, I've always got your best interest in mind. Protecting
time-
you and Charlie and Harley and even Charlotte.
And you get to decide what our best interests are? All on your own?
When you're being manipulated, perhaps. Because at that point, you don't really know what your best interest is.
Says the woman who attacked a girl in public.
She had it coming to her.
I'm not sure she did. And the fact that you don't seem to care one way or the other really just sort of proves my point.
Do you think that it wasn't conveyed to her what was going on that night? Do you think that for a moment when she showed up there, or when he put the giant tiara on her head, made her dress in a pretty red dress, and then when she saw you with your tiara and your pretty red dress and your pretty red hair and heard your pretty name, that she didn't know what her purpose was?
Yeah, she probably did. And I bet she felt diminished and humiliated and used. And then she felt dead.
I think you have at least one of those correct.
Connor never took me to parties like that with tiaras and stuff, but I know there were many a night when a costume showed up in my dressing room that I put on that it was a performance for some other girl he was playing with out in the audience. We've all been that role. We just didn't all die for it.
Then you were the lucky ones.
I guess so.
What are you expecting to happen in this? We are playing a very volatile game. We are trying to change an entire city from what it knows. We are trying to do that while keeping our intentions somewhat hidden. We are doing this, playing this game for ourselves so that we can perhaps be a bit freer. And what you're failing to understand is those people that we are playing against. The Cam, Anarch, Sabat, whatever. The Tower. Ooh. They are going to be just as, if not more, unforgiving, unmerciful as I was with your potential replacement.
Well, then I guess we better try just as hard not to be as bad as they are. What you're
Lucky for
failing
you.
to understand here is I don't have an expectation for the other side of this. I'm not a crusader like Harley or Charlie. I'm not a fighter like you. All I care about at the end of this is that I walk out with the same family I walked in with.
Lucky for you, you have me, so you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, I just hope you're the same person I walked in with when you walk out, and not just another bruiser who doesn't care if they're killing people for the Anarchs or for the Cam or for the Sabat. Bloodshed's bloodshed, right?
Depends on the convictions behind it.
Does it? Because your conviction sounds like vengeance, and I'm pretty sure vengeance is universal.
My conviction was to prove a point then.
What point?
That we will be equals on this playing field, one way or another.
I can understand that. Look, I don't want an apology from you. I don't want an answer. I don't want an explanation. I just want you to know that I love you and I'm scared for you. And I hope that means something to you in some way.
Of course it does. And for what it is worth, I am sorry that I bit you.
Water
Probably
under the
didn't
bridge.
have to do that so much, maybe, but then it would have just been. It doesn't matter. It's in the past.
Okay.
I want to bite you again if it makes you feel any better.
I appreciate it. And honestly, I trust you. If you really think that was the best decision, then or ever, I trust you because that's what you know and what I don't. And that's why I would never be mad at you for it.
Thank you.
Okay. Then Cassandra's gonna get up and leave, giving Elena lots and lots and lots of opportunity to say something else if she wants as she heads out the door.
I'm going to take that as a note. Okay. So, yeah, as Cassandra's pace kind of, the closer she gets to the door, the slower she kind of goes, giving Elena the last chance to say something.
As it's very obvious, I'm sure, that she's stalling. She's just, Cassandra, I might love you too.
Well, that's all I really ask.
You're not so bad for a Toreador.
I'm gonna write that in my compliment journal.
And then Cassandra's, the vision goes dark as the shade descends upon her out of nowhere. So where is Cassandra going from here?
I guess just back to my rooms.
To the Cassandra floor?
Yes, to the Cassandra floor.
What did we decide on? It was like a bright, sparkly diamond button on the elevator.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. It's been bejazzled.
Yeah. Yeah.
But mine doesn't play a little song, and I'm very mad about it, Charlotte.
And somewhere Brennan is seeing a bunch of shade come down. What
No
is
one
going
makes
on?
Cassandra cry.
Nobody puts Cassandra in the corner.
Unless it's Elena, apparently. Then it's fine.
What is Charlie doing during the previous therapy session?
Charlie has just been writing out numbers, but not his usual work numbers. It's more just a calming exercise at this point, just number sequences to get some sense of predictability and control in the situation. And just after a bit, just stop and just look over at Florence and just it says, what am I supposed to do with all of this?
All of what?
This everything, the guy from the club, and everybody with their.
Okay, narrow it down. Which guy? The guy that smelled awesome because he was so cool, or is it some other guy?
The one that you didn't attack when I whistled for you.
Yeah, because he wasn't as cool as the other guy, really, but he was really cool.
That's a vampire ability that lies to you and tells you that somebody's really cool.
Well, that's not very nice.
You know it's not. It's actually really bad.
That's rude. Why
It is, and I hope that you remember that.
See,
for
that's
next time.
kind of why I don't like you guys that much, because you're all rude to each other. It's kind of wrong.
Well, people are rude to each other too. Just comes out more with the way things are.
So with the numbers that you have been writing down, I'm going to get a wits and streetwise roll, because
Okay.
I rarely get a chance to put those two together. And, during these therapy sessions, episodes, I don't really get a chance to get anybody to roll dice. So
Fair. 3 successes.
There's kind of a pattern in those numbers. You can't
hope so.
quite put your finger on it, but it's there.
I'm going to then take a picture of them just like I did the strange symbols that I was drawing in my own blood the other time. And then I'm going to text Harley and say, I have something to send to your Tremere not girlfriend, and number pattern things maybe for you, ?
There is no response,
says the disembodied voice. And I'm not waiting on it, but I'm just sending it.
We're going to get into the other text message that Harley got later on once Harley is no longer a disembodied voice.
Yep. But I'll just send that and put my phone away because I still have all the pictures and just look to Florence. Just go, I've got to go sort out last night. Are you coming?
No.
I brought pine. It's pine sol. It's
Hey,
pine sol.
I guess I could come. Do you have any of those like really good treats? Like not the sausages, the other ones, the ones that you pick up from that like vendor thing, the little box with the person behind it that they, it's kind of meaty, but not really.
You want a hot dog?
Yes, that's
we
the
can
one.
get a hot dog. We can get a hot dog.
With extra onions.
You're not supposed to eat onions. Well, it doesn't matter. You have my blood in you. You're fine. Okay. Yeah, you can have all the onions that you want. And I'll just get up and walk over the distance to Charlotte's Tower with Florence, stopping to buy a hot dog on the way.
As a storyteller note, with the extra constitution that a dog can get by being ghouled, it can eat hot dogs with onions.
Oh yeah.
but it probably makes them farty. But that's beside the point entirely.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Ghoul mechanics are their own thing. But so yeah. So I'll get there and I'll get to the elevator and I'm just gonna hover my fingers over both Elena's floor and Cassandra's floor for a second.
Will you choose?
And I'll hit Cassandra's floor first and head up that way.
So the door eventually opens on Cassandra's floor. Cassandra, has the preparations of your floor proceeded any further since the last time we checked in?
No, it is an even bigger mess than last time. Charlie probably recognizes this kind of living from Cassandra. There are half-finished walls, projects that have been abandoned on the floor, song lyrics just sort of strewn about. This is the home of a flighty artist.
Has she made it back to the floor yet?
I would assume so, probably.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she would have.
Okay. Well, until I see her, I'm going to start organizing things. It's like just songs like into like I'm not picking them off the floor because I don't know where they go, but neater piles and yeah, just compartmentalizing and dividing.
I'm assuming Cassandra is kind of along the lines of a friend I used to have back in college, where it's like you take one CD out and you put it in the case of another CD when you're playing that CD, and then it just sort of
Oh
the
yeah,
pattern exponentially grows from there the more music that is listened to. Yes. Oh,
yeah.
it's like
Cassandra
that,
lives in
only-
a whirlwind of chaos.
it's like that only with vinyl, probably. Where it's just like this
I
record
picture
doesn't go
Cassandra's
here.
having all of it. She's got vinyl and Betamax and CDs and tapes, all the music mediums across the years. And she's towards the back of the room, draping a figure in red fabric and kind of giving up halfway through.
I'm just organizing my way over towards her until she sees me or I make it over there. Just it doesn't matter at what point it is, but
Florence is kind of like, hey, and you hear like a bark for Cassandra.
I turn around and look.
I'm just putting your song lyrics
See?
into stacks.
See, I did good. She, she's paying attention to you now because she was kind of ignoring you before, and it's kind of rude. You guys are rude. Have I mentioned that?
Yes, you have, good girl.
Oh God, she's coming over here.
brought-
Do you want ear scritches?
No, I don't.
her-
I really
let her-
don't.
Let her
The ears
do
go
it.
like back.
Oh, who's
let
a
her.
good girl? Oh, it's a pretty girl.
I don't like this. I don't like this at all.
Hey, and I'm pulling out just like it's a bottle of pine salt because I didn't have like pine. I'm just gonna like open up like kind of like hit it on my finger the way that you would like cologne and just go,
Yeah.
I'm taking Cassandra's wrists and like just rubbing them a bit. It's a testing thing. Let's close it up and put it back in.
Hey, yeah, you know what? You're right. That does kind of smell better.
Hey, we can,
Aw, she likes me.
She
Yay.
smells about 63% less dead.
we can work with this.
And I scritch Florence for a much longer time than she would like before I look up and finally acknowledge Charlie.
And that allows me to finish organizing these stacks in the meantime. You're
Okay.
busy.
Nah, just working.
Getting focused.
Doing my best. What's up?
I wanted to check on you after everything. With everything.
There was a lot of everything.
It's a lot.
How are you doing after seeing Connor?
I don't understand why or how he's back. He said Montreal got to Sabati, but why? I don't know why he came back here. Of all of the places, he mm, he he should know better, but he didn't. He did it anyway, and I don't understand why. I don't like not understanding why.
I don't know either. Do you think it had something to do with me or us or this?
It's the only thing I could think of would be because of you getting more attention, and that he didn't care before, but now that you're being somebody in his eyes, that then I guess he wanted to come back and leech on to that, because that's what he does.
Maybe, but I'm pretty sure if he wanted to show up here and be Harpy or Primogen or just about anything else he wanted, he could just do it on his own.
He didn't want the responsibility. He wants to use you for the responsibility because he is a user.
Maybe. He gave me a note last night. And Cassandra's going to take the little note card out of her purse and hand it to Charlie.
Just open it. This is the one that said, "I did it all for you."
This is that particular note, yes.
What do you think that means?
Well, that's transparently manipulative.
Yeah, especially since I don't even really know what he means by that, since
It doesn't
showed up
matter.
and was an asshole just for you. Doesn't have the same ring to it.
It doesn't matter. He can apply whatever meaning he wants to it. All you have to do is believe it.
What if he was doing something like behind the scenes? I mean, we have gotten away with a lot of bullshit in the last few months.
We got away with it. We did. And oftentimes not even very well.
That's what I mean. We're getting away with a lot of stuff and we're not doing it very well. And here we still are, getting away with it, gaining status, gaining allies. Do you really think everyone in Vancouver is just this stupid?
A lot of them are. But we also met the two people that knew the most about us, and they're the ones that I would believe actually did anything for us over him.
Yeah. What do you think we should do from here?
I don't know, and I don't like that either. Because as long as he is here, he is going to continue to show up, and it won't matter that it doesn't have to be the club that he owns for him to just show up. He'll just show up.
And we have not kept a low profile. Everyone knows we're here.
Yeah. Yeah, they do. Something's bothering me about some of the things that he said.
What?
I wasn't thinking clearly, but I wasn't thinking clearly, so it didn't click. But he was throwing around so many things, like he was dropping the Camarilla book of rules for things that we did, and didn't even have the right of destruction, and
That we're almost anarch in our approach to it.
and on one hand, it seems like a very thinly veiled nod at what he may or may not know about us. On the other hand, he embraced you without permission and then abandoned you. And
I
I
remember.
frankly don't think that anybody that selfish, self-serving, and weak of will has any right to quote Camarilla doctrine at anybody, much less somebody in the room that was when he was here and broke all of those rules. By law, if he had stayed, he would have been executed. So I don't think he has a leg to stand on there.
It was 40 years ago.
People change, but he doesn't. Not people like him. Not so long as they can use people.
He has obviously done his research on us. I think last night was just the beginning of what we're about to see.
Then we have to do our research on him.
We should have Harley look into him, find out what else he owns here, how long he's been here, who else he's been dealing with. I mean, whatever company he owns the succubus under must own other holdings or bank accounts, or I don't know how that stuff works.
Maybe. I'm not even sure if he's connected with the succubus club as it actually exists, or if this is just a branding thing. There's a lot of unknowns here. He just showed up and we didn't have a chance to actually think.
When he makes his next move, because I think we all know that's a question of when. Are you going to be able to keep it together again? Because that was a pretty damn close thing last night. And Elena was all over the freaking board. So I don't know if we can count on her. And Harley, I don't know, Harley saw his first girl from the way he reacted, and you'd think he was 9 years old.
I didn't expect him, and I didn't have any control. So even if I don't have any control next time, I at least know that he's coming.
What are you going to do about it?
It depends on how much control I have.
I would assume none.
Then I'll
I think
behave.
none. Elena thinks that there's more between you and Connor than just what happened to me. And Elena might be a little blood crazy nowadays, but she's not stupid.
Connor took someone that was important to me and used her for his own gain and abandoned her with no care. And I don't take well to that. And for him to walk back in like he owned the place and walk right over you all over again, I take to that even less.
Everyone is so concerned with how I was feeling and what was happening to me. So concerned, and still not one of you asked what I wanted. Everyone just did what they thought would be best for me. You all know that I am a grown-up adult, right?
I do. That's why I threw everybody out of the room so he could reset, so he could actually ask you what you wanted to do, because we were beyond that point. We were beyond that point.
But you still didn't ask. You still just assumed.
I didn't have an ability to ask. I was told to leave, and I couldn't say no.
True.
And by the time I could go back in, everything was in a spiral. That was after I had to wipe the memories of 3 people who saw Connor's guest dissolve.
You need to talk to her about that.
I imagine she has to talk to me about some things too.
Yeah, I think we all need to talk about all kinds of stuff. Again, some more.
Talking's good. Talking's better than not talking.
Yeah, just doesn't seem to be putting us in any better of a place. I don't know if you've noticed lately, but there's a lot of fracturing going on here.
I've noticed.
I don't like it.
You have to actually we have to have the follow-up after the talking. The people that talk have to be willing to go forward with the thing that gets talked about. You know, they have to, because you can't make them do it. They have to want to do it.
I'm just worried we're fighting so hard to bring change to this city that it's just turning us all into the same cutthroat Camarilla assholes that we're trying to oust.
We're going to have to put on that mask a bit if we're going to play that part. But we have to remember who we are underneath it. That's the key difference. It's like I told Elena some weeks back. We're monsters, but it's what we do with that makes the difference. You don't, just because you're a monster doesn't mean you have to act like one all the time.
That's sort of the problem. I think a few too many people in this coterie are learning to enjoy that feeling.
A few?
A few. Look, Elena's got her own thing going on. Harley will jump in front of any bullet or fire or helicopter that will stand still long enough for him to try to martyr himself on it. And I've seen what you look like when you're out there fighting too. You're not hating every second of it, no matter what you try to convince us of the next day.
I'm not hating it, but I'm not enjoying it. It's just familiar. Harley, I think, is learning to control better. Elena, I don't know.
I just don't see it ending well. And Connor might just be the pin that sets this whole thing off in not the right kind of way.
Then we have to address the pin. Make sure the pin stays in its place. Talk with Charlotte about it. Charlotte's the only one that was able to maintain some semblance of control. She might actually be the deciding factor in how we go about this.
She might just. I think she had the clearest head of all of us there. And that should probably be worrisome on its own account.
Charlotte is really good at select things, and one of them is not being told what to do.
Well, isn't that the truth?
Are you okay?
I don't know. I'd like to tell you I'm fine, but people who say I'm fine when they're asked if they're okay are pretty much always lying straight to your face.
Yeah.
I don't know. I am really afraid that when he shows up and tries to pull more of his bullshit, that I'm going to go right along with it.
I'm afraid that he's going to do that and we're not going to be able to interfere.
So I have an idea
Mm-hmm.
that you're not going to like and Elena's not going to like. I think we should take the power. I don't think we give him the chance to pull his bullshit. I think go along with it. The card's an invitation to reach out. And I think I should. And I think you guys should know about it from the get-go. Because if we don't take the first step, if we don't take tempo, then we're just waiting for him to make his move.
If you're going to do that, then I'm going to make a suggestion that I know that you're not going to like because I've already seen how much you don't like it.
Okay.
Charlotte isn't able to shrug off things like that just because she's stubborn. That's an inherent trait. I think you need to talk with her about learning a bit of that. And you know what that entails. But if you're going to put yourself front line, then you need to be stronger. And there's only so much that personal strength can do. Sometimes you have to actually wield the monster.
You're right. I don't love the suggestion, but this isn't a normal time. This isn't just for the sake of it or to win over boons or whatever. This is something else.
And it has the long-term benefit of making sure that people can't string you around so easily in the future.
Yeah. I'll ask her. And I do plan to bring this plan up with Elena and Harley and all the rest of them. Because like I said, if this is what we're going to do, then everyone needs to know. This can't be a secret thing because secrets are poison.
Well, I'll go talk with Elena, and then depending on how that goes, I'll get her and Harley, and we'll just meet up and we'll see if we can all talk about this.
Okay.
Okay. I'll look down at Florence and go, do you want to stay here or do you want to come with me?
Yeah, I'm not staying here.
Okay, well,
Just love me.
I'm going up to see Elena.
Come
on then. I'll just walk towards the elevator.
Can I stay with Sandra? Sandra's nice.
I'm going to whistle for Florence.
Sandra's, Florence is going to go, but she's definitely like, can I stay on the Sandra floor? Because
No, we're gonna try the pine solving. And I'm gonna
Florence, I love you.
And I'm gonna double back right before I hit the elevator and walk back and just hug Cassandra.
Aw.
Just bury in.
I hug him right back, full on, as hard as I can, which I have no potence, so it's totally fine.
I don't think either of you have potence.
Not yet.
Just no for me. No yet on there.
So you make it back to the elevator eventually.
Mm-hmm. And I'll just hit
Florence is definitely waiting there for you because she doesn't want to double back.
I'll hit the button for Elena's floor.
Eventually, you make it up into the darker section of the building.
Is it the pitch black again, or is it just darker in general?
It's
Pitch
the
black.
pitch black still.
I'll walk up. I'll knock on the door frame, and then I will activate Eyes of the Beast to look through.
And I also activate Eyes of the Beast as well.
Hi.
Hello, Charlie. To what do I owe a visit this time?
You said we were going to talk about it, so
Oh, that's right. I did, didn't I?
so here I'm here.
So talk.
You were the one that said we were going to talk about it, and I'm gonna go and sit right in front of her.
She does not take the darkness off at all. It stays.
I keep Eyes of the Beast up.
For Elena, it's a lot easier to see through the darkness. For Charlie, you're not generally used to this amount of dark. Like it's hazy. Like when you activate Eyes of the Beast anywhere else, you can see perfectly clear. But this is definitely a haze. You can make out sort of where Elena is, but there's no like solid definition of it.
Yep. Her eyes are helping me
Yeah.
pinpoint. Well, what did you want to talk about in regards to how everything went?
You were odd.
You'll have to elaborate. From what I hear, that's the norm.
More odd than normal. You were almost, I suppose, even for a Malkavian, you were quite mad.
I wasn't mad. I was furious.
Why? What is it about Cassandra's sire that makes you so upset? And do us both a favor and don't lie to me. I know when it is genuinely concerned, but this was different.
Have you ever had to explain to somebody that they can't be a human anymore? That they can't be the only thing that they've ever known before? That the entire concept of their existence is gone now and replaced by something that they didn't want? Have you ever had to do that to one of the closest people that you've ever had? Someone that was extremely dear to you for 2 years, 2 full years before this happened? Look them in the eyes as they tell you that something happened, and they're trying to dance around it because they don't know that you understand already.
No, I have not had that sort of, not really opportunity, is it? It is more like it's more unwanted.
That was 37 years, 2 months, 16 days, 17 hours, and 43 minutes ago. That was the start of my new relationship with Cassandra. Not the one that we had before. The one where I had to take care of her because the person that was supposed to, well, you saw him.
How long ago was that again? 37 years, you said?
37 years, 2 months, 16 days, 17 hours, 40.
That's fine. I don't need all of that. I just. So 37 years ago.
1984, if you want to just jump right to it.
I'm going to guess that he probably was not as strong as he is now.
If he was, he didn't show it.
So, why didn't you do something about it then? Why all of a sudden you're all upset and bleeding and angry and not
didn't do
quite
something.
right?
I didn't do something about it because he was in Montreal by the time I found out.
Montreal's not that far away.
It is when you have someone that you need to take care of here. And by the time you start looking for him again, he's gone.
So that's it then. You were just upset with him because of what happened to Cassandra?
I don't like when people hurt people that are near and dear to me.
That begs another question. If this was a new type of relationship with Cassandra, then what was the other one?
2 years. We were friends. She was getting started as a singer, and I was working casinos, and I was helping her get to sing in the casinos and the bars, and I knew a lot of people.
And now I need you to understand, I am not trying to pour salt into a wound of yours. And I'm not trying to make you feel bad. I'm trying to get a full picture of what is really going on. Where were you when he did this to her?
I wasn't at the club because I was working a different one that night. And I didn't know that he was going to go do that.
Did you know him before he did that?
I knew him for about a week and a half before he did that.
And you were very aware of what he was.
He was kindred from Montreal, same as his friend.
Where is his friend then? Not friends anymore?
Not here anymore.
So, let me get this straight. So he comes to town. You had to have met him before he did all the things.
He was betting on things. I'm a bookie. It's what I do. I run numbers and take bets.
Out of curiosity, how was his streak? Was he good with numbers? Did he
No.
lose a lot?
He bet on the stock market in 1984. It was a bad year.
Yes, I would say so. I heard about that a few times, I think. Been through like the bitch a lot when things don't go their way.
87 is worse.
Fair enough. So you have this Toreador hanging around, making shitty bets.
not getting what he wanted because he was losing.
Mm-hmm.
So he took something that he could get, which was a young girl who was getting started in all of this. And he was a flashy guy. It was impossible to look away from when he wanted you to look at him. Full of big promises that he never had to back up. No one ever had to know how shitty his portfolio was, how bad his luck was, because he could just tell you otherwise.
And again, I'm not trying to make you feel bad. I'm just trying to paint a picture that I can grasp. You didn't see it coming. You handled the books, you handled all of his numbers.
Didn't see.
Pretty girl, really talented. Toreador, asshole side person, Connor eventually is. You didn't see that coming at all?
It wasn't a pattern that I connected.
I find that's very difficult to believe considering how good you are with patterns and numbers and all the things.
Why does somebody's shit luck at the stock market lead to embracing somebody that I know?
You are familiar with kindred society, are you not?
That would imply it was my fault.
I didn't say that.
Then what's being said?
What is being said is you threw me out of a room. I was trying to keep her safe, and you threw me out of a room, locked me out of that room, only to open the door and lead her right back in.
Elena, how does feeding on somebody who already has a history of trauma with things being taken from them without their consent and then throwing them out of the room to the floor protect somebody?
She was out of the room.
And that's the only part that mattered, isn't it? Not how safe she was, not how hurt she was, not how she felt. Just she wasn't there. Pawn moves to e6.
What you need to understand about that particular interaction is that she was in a very vulnerable place. The situation was not good. You weren't exactly helping it either. And she was just as enthralled as all of us were. And
And throwing a
I
tantrum with
couldn't
shadow
do
arm.
anything. I could not do anything against him,
Mm-hmm.
but I could do something to get her out of there.
And what
And
happens
that's
when
what I did.
and what happens when he opens the door and says, "Come back in," or when he looks at you and says, "Bring her back, please"?
I was
What
hoping,
exactly is the next step?
honestly, I was sort of hoping that you and Harley or Charlotte or somebody would have had the fucking sense to take her out of there and not put her in a vulnerable situation again.
It wouldn't matter. All he has to do is say, "Bring her back to me, please," and then you come find us, and then you throw us out of the way to bring her back, because that's how that works.
That is not what would have happened. We would have actually had a bit more time to have negotiated something or to have done something to protect her. Now what? I hear it's what, 3 major bombs now? Good job.
Could have been one. But, you know, somebody died. Somebody got punched in the face.
You could have just left it at the one.
Not after somebody died and somebody
Then
got punched
why?
in the face.
Then what? What were the consequences? Oh, he was going to go tell the sheriff. He was
Yeah,
going to go
actually.
tell a harpy. He was going to go bring hellfire down on all of us. That's what it was going to be, right? Think about the fucking position that we are in right now, Charlie. I'm pretty sure we have just a bit more standing than some random piece of shit sire that ran away 37 years ago.
We don't have more standing than some piece of shit coward sire whose domain we are standing in, violating the masquerade, the first tradition of the thing we are pretending to uphold. You are not that stupid, Elena.
No, I'm
I
not
know that you're
stupid.
not.
No, I'm not. But he was just as much at fault the moment that he stepped through that door.
Do you know how domain works? In the Camarilla? It's my house, my rules. End of story. And we were in his house. I didn't want
Remind
to be in
me
his
to
fucking
talk
house.
to Charlotte about that one too, because surely somebody would have had to have figured out who the fuck the club belonged to.
I would love to know the answer to that one too. But at the end of it, we were in somebody's house that neither Cassandra nor I really wished that we had been in. And it was his rules.
Okay, so let me get this straight, because I know how it felt. I was there, so I do know how it felt to not want to think that he was everything for that moment. I know how that felt, but I still had a bit of wits about me enough to know that I didn't like it. So, the moment he walked through that door, before any words were spoken, you could have gotten her out of there. We all could have left. A number of things could have happened before it got to that point.
We could have. I went to go talk to him.
Why?
And to see if I could convince him to leave. And figure out why he was here. And before I could, I was stopped in my tracks and Cassandra went into the room with Charlotte. So me, on my way over to the person that is in question, leaving the four of you back. And end of the equation is you're holding me and Cassandra's in the room. So why wasn't Cassandra out of the building, Elena? If you're going to level that at me.
You wanted to talk to him. You wanted to see if you could convince him to leave or whatever it is. How often have we come against someone that was dangerous to us?
A lot more than I thought we'd be doing since I started this job.
By the way, thank you for that. So, how often out of all those times that we've come into contact with someone, did we not manage to regroup together and talk before making a decision like that?
Not very often, actually.
I think you're a bit incorrect in that assumption.
No.
We always get a chance to say something. You just left.
How did the werewolves go?
Complete. That's a good question considering what you did.
Oh no, I don't even mean this previous time. I mean, how
Uh-huh.
did the werewolves go the first time when we went back into the building and Harley went into the room and got bisected? And then How did the Second Inquisition go? That went well, but we didn't really
So,
plan anything.
bisected Harley was actually a decision that we all were part of. I didn't like it, but it was a decision that we were all a part of. We knew that he was going there. We were listening. We were waiting. We were watching.
Mm-hmm. And then you wanted to run in when he screamed without having any idea of what was in there, which meant it could have been you in two pieces.
Not quite, because it doesn't even matter. All of that, if we're going to levy all of that against each other, that's fine. We can do that.
That
Is that
seems
what
to
you
be
want
the
to do
direction this
right now?
conversation is going, Elena.
No. You acted very uncharacteristically.
You haven't seen me when people that I care about get hurt. Not to the fullest extent. And that's because you do a very good job of keeping yourself safe. And everybody else, well, they're a kindred. And they don't have to suffer the full extent of the consequences that a human does when one of us gets their claws into them.
You do have one point, though. Cassandra asked me why I left when I did. And I told her that it was because I wanted to gain something that would help in some way, which is why I insisted that she was not under whatever that was that he was doing.
And that helped. I figured that you would just leave the room, though. I didn't think that you would be completely gone from the entire club and then not come back.
Obviously, it wasn't my party.
You missed a really nice song.
Don't worry. There are always others.
That's the plan.
Nonetheless, though, I left to give her an angle. I should have stayed. Perhaps if I'd stayed, then your 3 boons that you now owe him would have not been 3 boons. It would have been 1 or none, really. Because just because somebody tells you that they expect that does not mean that you have to agree to it.
No, we don't. And then we have somebody actively working against us, as opposed to accepting 3 boons and then examining his history and his motives and his intentions and the validity of the things that he said and undermining the platform of his boons. Because claiming that we didn't have right of destruction on somebody that was brought in as a targeted individual, a targeted embrace, is, I'm fairly certain that wasn't makeup and a wig. And somebody who's claiming that we violated a tradition when he should have been killed by the Prince of Vancouver back in '84 for what he did. I don't think that he has as much standing as he claims to.
So why did you agree to that?
Because the other option is actively fighting him as opposed to kicking his legs out from underneath him when he doesn't see it coming. Because that's what I do best. I surprise.
I don't think that you are looking at this at all angles, though. I think that there are key points that are missing.
You're right. Such as one of the boons being due to the death of his childer. and the other boon being due to me agreeing to it as an apology for turning a conversation, even if we didn't want to have it, into a fist fight. That third boon is on me, not Elena, not Cassandra. I took that one. And I was going to take the other one, but he said no. Had to be somebody else, and Cassandra took it so that none of you would be hooked by him either.
I need you to understand something. This is not going to be a peaceful reckoning.
I hope it's
I'm
not.
going to kill him. And I need you to understand something very clear. When I say that I'm going to kill him, I mean I'm going to take his soul. Whatever's left of it.
In turn,
we
I need
don't
you to
have-
understand two things.
What is that?
The first is that if you deny me the opportunity to get revenge for what he did, that is going to change things between you and I dramatically. The second thing that I need you to understand is that if you continue to go down this path, I'm going to have no idea who you are anymore. Because right now, I'm not even sure if you do.
I know exactly who I am.
Do you know who you are, or are you just rolling into it?
No,
Because it's the easy
as
way.
I told Cassandra, for the first time since I don't even know when anymore, this is the first time that I actually do know who I am. I actually do know what I am, and I understand everything.
But do you want to
Perfectly.
do that? Because that's the difference. Because as I told you when we were going to check in on Harley's old haven to make sure that the mysterious stalker didn't leave any more love notes. Oops. As I told you then, we're all monsters. The difference is what you do with it and how much control you have over it. So you can know who you are, but do you want to be that? Because the woman that I saw last night wanted to be that. The woman that I saw high off of Garu blood wanted to be that. And in between that, I thought I saw somebody else. I thought I actually was getting a sense of who you were when we were talking. And now you're telling me that you are going to strip away that person even more the first chance that you get. So do you want to be that person, even if you know who they are? Because you don't have to be that person.
I need you to understand. Whether it is the person that you're talking about now or the person that you've seen or whatever it is that you're talking about with all of this. I know what I have to do. And you and Cassandra and Harley and even Charlotte are what matters. And so if I have to dip into that darkness that you don't like to ensure that all of you continue existing, That is exactly what I'm going to do. And if you cannot bring yourself to understand that, to accept that, and you just continue to want to fight that, that is a decision you're going to have to make for yourself.
I think my decision is to be considered an equal to you as opposed to a pet that you have to take care of. And I'm going to get up and walk out.
Florence is waiting for you at the elevator.
And I'm just opening the elevator door and walking in, and I'm hitting Charlotte's floor at that point.
All right. So at this point, it is a good portion to take a bit of a break. So we will be back in about 5 minutes, and we will see you real soon.
Bye.
Welcome back, everybody. You'll notice somebody has returned to the fold, and that's somebody we're going to be dealing with first. Because when last we saw them, it was the night before, and they were making their way to a certain point in the sewers.
All right, so Harley was in the limo with Sandra, and then he started feeling a tug in his brain, and he maybe put up a nominal resistance, but he knew that it was basically worthless. So he just gets up, gets out of the limo, finds the nearest service entrance down below, starts working his way through the sewers. And as I said before, he's been down this route before.
He certainly has.
In fact, the whole coterie has been down this route. He gets to the bottom of the stairs, almost like pointlessly uses soaring leap just to, like that was the intended purpose of the trap, and then makes his way to the narrow crevice. His clothes are basically between the headbutt from the Bruhan, blood everywhere, getting cannonballed by a flaming red Toreador fireball. He's
Assholes and elbows.
Mm-hmm. But his outfit's basically trashed, and making it through the crevice was
The final straw.
Mm-hmm. So he just takes the jacket, the vest, that $75 silk shirt that he actually had his eye on specifically for the party, just leaves it there. Worms through the crack. He gets out between the journey through and the damage he sustained. So yeah, his nose is still broken. There's blood seeping from all of the cracks in his face. Maybe some of the scales have actually like peeled off and there's exposed muscle. But he gets out, doesn't even bother straightening up, and approaches the throne there in the middle of the chamber.
The throne of skulls that is pretty much in the middle of the chamber, that is give or take about the size of a football stadium. Canadian football and then American football, so haha. It's bigger. So you see the veiled Nixodon, and she's looking down at you and she says, "Tell me a story."
What do you wish to hear, ma'am?
I hear that there was a disturbance at your party.
Well, there was outside interference. I unfortunately wasn't in a position to do anything about it because it was Cassandra's sire, and I didn't know it at the time, but I was being manipulated pretty much the entirety of his excursion. Things got a little blurry. I know that I got hit by Cassandra. I'm pretty sure Elena killed Connor's Childer. That's Cassandra's sire. I've been unable to really contribute up top tonight. I was basically worthless, and that's part of the reason why the shit went sideways.
And you hear a kind of a of a walking stick on what could only be probably described as kind of concrete, but it's from the looks of the actual chamber, you can definitely tell that it's clacking on skulls. And Alexandru comes out from behind the throne of skulls once again. See, I told you that he wouldn't be able to handle it. And there doesn't seem to be much of a response from Nixodon, but Nixodon, what do you think we should do, Harley?
I honestly do not know how to answer that question because look, I was caught flat-footed. I was the only one in the room that didn't have a personal grudge against the asshole, so maybe that's why everyone else seemed to be a little more able to act. He was a completely unknown factor. I wasn't the only one who missed a detail, and it won't happen again.
Of course it won't. Because we are going to help you to resist such things in the future.
Okay.
Do you want that?
Okay, this is carrot and stick time. Well, what's the trade?
There is no trade. It is a yes or a no question. Do you want that?
And I take it my answer is going to change the course of the rest of this conversation, correct?
And Alexandru answers for Nixodon. And he's, oh, most certainly, Harley. Most certainly.
All right. What's this entail?
Is it a yes or is it a no?
I suppose I have to answer right now, right?
You see like the slightest nod from the veiled Nixodon.
Yes.
Excellent. See, I told you he could handle it. And Alexandru reaches into his jacket, because he's wearing like a different style than what you're accustomed to him seeing. It's almost bishop-like robes that he's wearing at this particular point, and he reaches into them and he grabs out a goblet and he hands it over to you and he says, "If you would be so kind, Harley, lead into this."
Can I make an intelligence and occult roll to tell her what exactly the fuck is going on right now?
You can try.
Out of character, I know what the fuck is going on, and this is not.
Okay, we all knew we were gonna get here eventually.
Hey,
We're not
Justin,
gonna
it's
do-
chilly. Can I get that Sabat book? Come
We're
on,
not
man.
gonna do
Step
it
it up a little
ourselves. He's
bit.
gonna fucking kick that wheel into motion.
Oh no.
Oh, here we go, guys. Ready for this?
I mean, is it even gonna matter if you can tell? You've already said yes, right?
3.
You've heard rumors that it kind of a Sabat ritual. You're not sure entirely what it entails.
Fuck.
And he lowers the goblet underneath to collect the vitae. He then walks up the stairs and hands it, puts it near Nixodon. And Nixodon, her upper body doesn't seem to shift at all. Like, it's actually ridiculously disconcerting that an arm comes out and it's already severed and it starts bleeding into the goblet. And then Alexandru turns around after collecting some of Nixodon's vitae. He takes out a ceremonial dagger and he kisses it, and he is like, "Praise be unto Cain," and he cuts his own wrist and puts it in, and he sticks the dagger in and swirls it around. The dagger is like extremely an ornate dagger. It has got various sigils and symbols along it, and this seems to be a silver dagger, and he's mixing it, and he walks back down to you and he says, "Cain, bless this vitae, for this your new disciple is joining the ranks." And he hands it over to you.
And I drink.
And your child has become one of the soldiers of the Sabat. And that is where we're going to end off that particular scene. And we're going to fast forward to the next night. Speaking of, if there's any even 1 point blood bonds, they are now gone. I'm going to get you to actually roll 2 regular D10s, not actually the D10s that are from the awesome set from Level Up Dice. The ones with the numbers, preferably, because it's 1 through 10.
I have both here. Let's get those vinculum ratings, baby. I've got an 8 and a 5.
The 8 is going to go towards the creature. Let's just say, let's put it that way, with the more powerful vitae, which would be Nixodon.
I'm happy with that. I can roll with that.
Yeah, you feel very connected to Nixodon. The 5, you're like, Alexandru, yeah, he's pretty cool. He's all right.
Well,
I like him.
It's just reinforcing feelings that he already had for Nix anyway. This is fine.
It's totally fine.
I'm
Nothing
rationalizing like a motherfucker right now. This is fine. We're good.
Nothing could possibly go wrong from here. This is the line that I'm drawing as a storyteller. From here, nothing goes wrong, okay? Everybody
You all
got
heard
that?
it. He said it.
Yes, everybody heard that.
That is
We
an
are
orally
all
binding
correct.
contract.
I wasn't paying
Also-
attention. I was reading the Zoom chat.
That doesn't matter. We heard it.
I'm also lying.
The storyteller.
Nobody heard that.
Storyteller.
Yes.
It's not going to change his ability to do what he just did, but I'm weighing if the wording of the submerge directive that I gave Harley applies here about doing something that
Oh!
inherently endangers us or himself.
Oh!
This does not inherently endanger him, though.
Joining a pack via a Valkyrie when we're trying to pretend to be Camarilla.
He's secure.
Dangerous.
His
He didn't know what it was.
Well,
though.
no, he's got an inkling. The inclination here that or the reason why Harley's doing this is he knows that if he doesn't agree to this, the whole deal is fucking off.
Okay, so then yeah, it wouldn't apply because he actually thinks he's protecting us, and
Yes.
it's not
Yeah.
like it's not in a way that it's not even in a way that necessarily endangers him.
Mhm.
Right.
So
If
yeah,
anything, this would protect him more.
yeah,
because
okay.
He'd be more connected with Nixodon, the angry dinosaur Nosferatu.
Because
Nope, totally.
if Harley said no, he probably wasn't going to leave that room.
That is a 100% fair justification. All right.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Not
Yeah.
leaving that room.
Mm-hmm.
Technically, he's not leaving that room that night, which is why we're fast forwarding to the next night, which is the group therapy session. with-
So at this point, can I just go ahead and point out that Harley fucked up more than I did?
At
But
this
we
point,
don't know that to yell at him yet.
Yeah, we got to find that one out first.
Give us time.
Yeah.
He'll get his
We'll
lectures.
get there. We'll get there.
And Harley is going to put on his new robes that he's going to find just randomly laying around, in the tunnel. Some other Nos left it behind.
accidentally
Checks
left
out.
it there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Next night, you said?
Yeah.
All right, and then Hunger 2.
Everybody roll the rouse check.
Okay, relative point
Me
of
too.
order.
I'm at hunger 2 now.
I'm at hunger too because of someone.
Making me do so much work here. Okay.
Oh, but I'm okay.
So Charlie hears, hey,
Oops.
let's add some more people in here. That'd be great. Hey, you listen, can you eat somebody that would be super? You could do that, and then you could eat them, and then, stuff like that could happen. And then, stuff. Eat somebody.
Not yet. But we'll see how things go.
All right.
Call it a compromise.
Elena hears the following. Elena,
What do you want to know?
you're doing fantastic. Just keep doing what you're doing.
Wait, what? Are we actually in agreement on something now?
Yes, you should eat more people. I totally agree with your ideas about Connor, was it? Yes, let's eat him.
I'm very confused right now, but okay,
Not as
that's the
confused.
plan.
Not as confused as I was that you actually are doing something amazing. Just keep up the fantastic work.
For some reason at this moment, I kind of feel like I'm kind of starting to think that maybe I'm not doing something fantastic because we're agreeing on it.
Really? Why would you think that? Don't you want harmony with your beast? Isn't that something that's good to have?
Well,
Do you
it
want
would
us to be arguing all
better.
the time? I mean, honestly.
Why do you think that I'm? I have a lot of. So we'll talk later. I will eat Connor.
Speaking of Connor, hey Lex, what's up?
I was okay. I passed my.
Ah, damn it.
Nope. I'm all good this time. Leave me
Yeah,
alone.
she's still from Hunger 2 from the previous night. Or the
Yeah,
night
I'm
ago.
in hunger too because of somebody who shall remain
We're not
pointed
pointing.
at.
Oops.
We're definitely not pointing any fingers at all.
I'm so getting that shirt. Hashtag.
Everyone, I'm assuming at some point is going to be ending up on Charlotte's floor.
Yeah, I'll go back. I'll leave Florence home this time. Or not. I don't know. We'll see if she shows up. She does that sometimes apparently. And
It's
just
totally random.
yeah, and just hit the because she wasn't there last night, hit the elevator button for Charlotte's floor and head on up.
You see, once you go to the door, Sandra is not there. But you see the note, which is over there on the door for Cassandra's room, and you hear a lot of Daft Punk.
Charlie's literally just doing this up against the door until whoever else shows up.
And I will also be heading to Charlotte's floor. So Cassandra will come up behind Charlie. What the hell?
It sounds like robots.
Does sound like robots. And I'm going to yank the sticky note off the door to read it.
There's a lot of robots.
You don't get to skip the therapy just because you didn't do anything wrong. Otherwise, I don't have to go to any of these therapy sessions.
Well, you're the one that's also wronged, so you do need to be there.
It's fine. So, like, we can't get into the boardroom unless we go through her office. Should we just take over another floor?
I'm gonna try the door handle.
Sorry, the door is locked.
I'm going to larceny try the door handle.
Sure. Let's go with a dex and larceny.
Okay. 3 successes. I have no idea what kind of lock Charlotte has.
The door is still locked.
Then after trying the handle, and after like pulling something out of his pocket and like sticking it in the lock and moving it, yeah, I probably have to take over another floor. Do you want to just go see if Elena and Harley are up and take over their floor?
Why don't we take over a floor where Elena's allowed in all of it and not just half of it?
We can do that too. We have to go get them.
Harley's section of the floor has been... It's been specially constructed so Elena can actually go into his section of the floor. And actually, point of note, it sounds like there is a party out in the hallway outside of Harley's like door. The interns are looking for him.
Yeah, that'll be for Elena to hear. We're
Yeah.
I think a floor down at this point.
Yeah.
there's a
Elena
lot
is
of-
still
We're going to
shrouded in-
enter into it in a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, Elena is still in her room, shrouded in darkness.
Yeah, there's a lot of jock jams that you can hear right now.
Okay, so let's go. Do you want to take to them because we have to go to them anyway, even if we go to another floor?
Yeah, all right, let's go get them.
Okay, I'll just get up and walk towards the elevator and wait for Cassandra and hit the button.
I'm going to take the note with us to show them.
Okay.
All right.
Do you want to get Harley and I'll get Elena, or vice versa? Or
Sure.
Same sort of scenario. The door is open on one side. It's kind of like a yin yang. There's one side that's all dark, and the other side is kind of bright and cheery and raver-esque,
And full of interns.
full of interns.
Yeah, that seems more like your side of the floor.
Y'all, I'll take the party, you take the darkness.
I'll take the not noise and I'll walk towards Elena's side.
I will walk towards Harley's side.
So let's deal with the party first. There's a lot of interns and they're drinking. You definitely recognize the kind of exact same smell from the night previous where they were drinking like something that was caffeine induced, but it's most certainly alcoholic because people are just partying all over the place. And
Oh no, they can't get into Harley's section of the floor. The door is locked. They're milling about in the hallway. They're partying in the hallway trying to get
Yeah,
in.
I left Cassandra in the hall with all the people because I didn't want to be near people.
Yep.
they're waiting until the doors open and then they'll spill into that area.
I'm going to make my way to the door, mostly ignoring the interns unless Adam is here. My favorite of the interns.
Adam is not there due to the fact that Adam has been fed from a lot lately. So he's probably eating orange slices somewhere on Charlotte's floor.
And Cassandra does her regular walk through the interns, knows everyone's name, asks everyone questions, doesn't really care what the answers are. Until she gets to the door.
like father, like childer.
Offended.
That's pretty much exactly what Connor did. He walked through and he didn't give a flying rat's ass what anybody said to him. Just he
I
was
don't
like, "Hey,
care
how's it
for your
going?"
comparison. I don't care for that. All right. And I will go until I get to Harley's door. And I mean, if I knocked, would it be hearable over this? How loud is it out here?
It's a little bit loud. Like it's kind of like standard house party-ish noise, but it's not like overwhelming. Like if you knocked hard enough, you think that Harley would probably hear you on the other side.
I'm gonna knock pretty hard, but I'm gonna knock to like the beat of shit. I can't remember what song it is we always play when we have to have covert conversations.
Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch, Smooth
Yeah.
Vibrations.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to knock to the rhythm of that for a minute because I think that'll get my point across.
Let's see. Come on. Okay, yeah, okay. Something like that.
There is no answer.
There is no answer.
I try the door.
The door is locked.
I pat my pockets like maybe I have some larceny tools, but I totally don't. So I don't really know what my plan was there.
Are you proficient with thieves' tools?
No, not at all in any way.
What's your passive perception? No, I'm kidding. That's the other game.
I saw Charlie do it earlier and it looks so cool. So now I'm gonna kind of bang on the door and be like, Harley.
No response.
Harley.
Nothing.
Oh my God. We're the worst at this. I'm just going to kind of lean against the door and watch the party while Charlie goes to get Elena, because I assume she'll know where he is.
Speaking of Charlie getting Elena, there's a big cloud of darkness that's there.
Same as the day before. Is knock, knock, red. I can see.
Red eyes. Hello, Charlie.
Hi. There's a lot of people outside.
I've noticed. I'm not very fond of the noise.
Me neither. That's why I came over here.
Are you okay?
Are you okay?
More or less, I am. I do have one more question for you.
All right.
Shadows. That's typically my thing, but I did notice that you seem to be tapping into it a little.
I didn't realize it until afterwards.
Do you want to know more about it? Perhaps delve in a little deeper?
I don't know. I don't know.
That's fair enough, I suppose. If you decide that you would like to, I can show you.
Okay.
So, not that I am complaining about you being here, but why exactly?
Oh, Cassandra and I were going to get you and Harley, and so we could all talk, because that's what we do after things go all sideways and whatnot. Charlotte ditched.
What do you mean Charlotte ditched?
Charlotte left a note.
She can't
Cassandra has
just
a note.
ditch. That's not how any of this works.
Nobody told her that, and then she ditched. We should probably tell her that beforehand next time, so she can't ditch.
That is how this. That is the thing that we're not supposed to ditch, correct? Can we ditch? Are we allowed to ditch now?
I mean, you're upset about Charlotte ditching, so probably not.
I guess that's fair.
I mean, I didn't write the rules, so that I don't know.
I didn't really realize that there were rules, but now that you mention it, I suppose that
I
there
mean,
are.
We're all kind of annoyed that she ditched, so I guess that's a rule. So that's how it works, right? You like if you're all like, hey, that shouldn't be the way that things go. That's a rule.
We should tell her that is a new rule of whatever it is that we are doing. No more ditching.
No more ditching. We have to actually
Speaking
talk about things.
of ditching, have you seen Harley? I'm really surprised that I haven't seen him. I assumed that he would have stopped by now.
No, I texted him yesterday, but he didn't get back to me. Cassandra is going to go get him.
That's concerning. I thought that Charlotte made sure that he was back.
Charlotte took him to the limo after the party, and then I don't know if he went home or he went somewhere else, but he just had to get out of the building. I assumed he came back. He had a rough night.
Oh dear. Is that because I don't know when? Because whatever was going on, that with Connor, whatever that was, you don't think that Harley went to find him, did you? Because he kind of had a bit of a crush.
If he did, then I feel like he would have just come right back in instead of going out to the limo. Because Connor stayed in. I peeked out of the room to see if he were coming back to the club, and he was out there, so I went back inside the room.
Yeah, no, I didn't think that it was a good idea to come back.
You seemed mad, so that makes sense.
I wouldn't say mad is an accurate description, but it doesn't matter now. I suppose we should go and see where he's at. Perhaps he is in his. It's very loud over there. I don't
really
like
loud.
it.
It's really loud. I need to learn how to do the things that Alexandria does before I can learn how to do the things that you do. I need to actually focus and analyze it, and I don't need too many distractions at once there. Not that you're a distraction, just that I need to be able to learn how to do the thing, like I said, because I haven't been doing that.
I understand. But something that you need to be aware of is that the shadows aren't like other things. It is very much so kind of like its own entity of sorts. If you can't figure out how to control it to a degree, what happened then can happen pretty much anywhere.
Then I will need your help to keep my head level.
As you wish. Now I'm gonna go kill a stereo system now.
Okay. And before she gets out, though, I'm going to stop her and go. And in turn, I can help you keep your head level. We can help each other.
Yes. I think that would be a good idea.
I'll just nudge her head with my head and go break a boombox.
Yes, that's what I'm going to do. All of them.
Okay.
and she's going to step out. As she's stepping out of the room, the eyes of the beast will go away, and she'll release the shadowy darkness that stayed with her.
Just for story clarification, by boombox, you mean not humans, right?
Sure.
Okay. Checking.
Sorry.
I told you,
It's
Florence.
Florence.
Florence may or may not show up. I don't have control over that sometimes.
It
Florence
just
is,
happens.
yeah, we've
Right.
already established with the London game that Florence is a time traveling dog.
Oh,
So-
oh yeah.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
Florence is the
Yes.
real hero of the story.
There's always a Florence.
But yes, Elena is going to. I will say that I am, as I'm walking, like my hands are down, and I'm still playing with like the arms of the air, with the arms of the airmen, still playing with them. And yeah, as soon as I get there, I'm just going to not even pay attention to the people, and I'm going straight for the music, and I'm just going to touch it.
And it dies. Cassandra definitely recognizes the handiwork of Elena.
The moment that the music stops, I'm just gonna go, oh thank God, and just walk out into the into the crowd of people.
And yeah, as soon as the music, so as soon as she kills it, she's just going to turn around and have a kind of smirk. Okay.
You hear definitely like a, oh, what the, and somebody's like fucking around with the music, some Chad or something is like, oh man, this was just working fine. Did you put enough batteries in this? What the hell's going on?
No. That is enough. Go away. Now.
All right, fine.
You should go get more batteries.
Oh yeah, batteries. Yeah, we should. There's someone. Isn't there someone on the other floor? Yeah, there is. Okay, let's all
Stay
go down.
there.
Go get more batteries.
Okay, yeah, we should probably have the party in the other floor. Like, she set up a party floor for us, right? You know that? Yeah, and then they're wandering down.
And
Go
just-
visit Charlotte. Apparently, she can't be bothered with any of us tonight, so she likes the music. Go do that.
He's playing robot music. Found Elena.
And Cassandra's just leaning against Harley's door. Not in or not answering.
I'm gonna text Harley.
I'm gonna actually just go to his door, and I'm gonna stop and just look at Cassandra. You knocked. Did you call out to him yet?
Yeah, I
Okay.
know
And
how
I'm just
doors
gonna-
work.
I am kicking the door in, and I am using potence.
I'm in the process of typing knock knock.
Fair enough. Speaking of knock knock and text messages, Harley would have gotten a text message from somebody named Jude.
Oh, he
that
knows Jude.
reads,
He knows Jude.
I'm just spelling it out for the people who may not have watched the other series, man.
Oh, well, they should be. They should be. They should know who
I
Jude
know
is by
they
now.
should be.
And if they don't,
I'm
they need
gonna
to
give them
watch the other
shit
damn
for that
show.
later.
Yeah, get on
However,
it.
however, you get the text message that reads, "So what's the deal with this Cassius guy? Is he a fucking jerk or what?"
So Harley eventually makes it back onto street level, and he's catching up on all of the texts that he got now that he's actually got signal now, and he's probably like 3 or 4 blocks away from the building. He responds back to Jude's text. Tremere whip. Douchebag. Wouldn't be missed.
Everybody's playing on my level finally.
And so I've got one text from the previous night, which was what again? I can't remember.
I was saying I have some weird pictures for your Tremere not girlfriend and some number pattern recognition for you.
All right. I text back 10-4. We'll actually talk to you shortly.
And I'm like, I get that in the middle of typing knock knock, and I just start like backspacing knock knock, and I'm assuming Helena has broken down the door at this point.
Yeah, I'm gonna get a
Yeah.
strength and brawl. check from that.
And I'm adding my potence.
Don't add your potence to the roll. We'll add that later.
Okay. Hold on, it's a lot of dice.
Yeah, it's still a lot of dice. It's fine.
All right.
I'm assuming you kind of scoot Cassandra out of the way first.
Yeah, do you?
Yeah, I literally like just after I said I literally like moved her and just kicked. And that is going to be 2 crits and 3 regular successes.
It's like 7. What's your potence rating?
Potence is 2.
That's like 9 successes. So yeah, the door is going. I'm assuming this is just a regular kind of wooden office-ish door.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it splinters into like a billion pieces.
There
gonna look
might
up.
have been some metal reinforcement around like the actual like handle. But so like
Yeah,
that part still might actually like it
Yeah.
didn't make it that far
Be
into
intact.
the room.
Yeah, the
The
door-
rest of
yeah.
it's like toothpicks.
The door handle is still attached. Everything else just splinters and
Mhm.
explodes off.
I'm gonna look up. Wait. And then I'm gonna just type, I guess you're not home yet. ...
Are you kidding me?
What?
Mm,
I've not seen him
no
at
why.
all.
So we better just kick his door in.
Elena
He was
knocked.
he was very, very, very much the from Connor, and I was concerned that
And
perhaps
wait, you
if
thought
he's
he
not
brought
here-
Connor back here and they're in there together?
No,
Where's the
I was
plan
FML
here?
be
I was
back
thinking-
soon.
I was thinking that perhaps that he didn't come home and he actually went to
Oh,
see
so we
Connor
should kick his door in
to make sure he's okay.
He's on his way
because
back.
he's in there in danger.
He's
But
on
I
his
want
way
to make
back.
sure that
He's
We're
on
just
his way
yelling
back.
over
He's on his
Charlie.
way back. He's on. I'm just like being like louder. Like he's on his. Just repeating the same sentence over and over again. On his way back. He's on his way back. He's on his way back. He's on his way back. Until I notice that they've stopped. He's on his way back. He's on his way back.
I didn't know what voodoo that Connor could have put on him, so I didn't know what state he might be in if he was in there. So I wanted to make sure he was okay. He didn't answer. He didn't answer text messages until apparently 2 minutes ago.
That part's true. He's on his way back.
Oh dear, do you know what that means?
You owe him a new door.
Oh no, he'll deal with it later. It's fine. No. He's always having to repair stuff like that all the time because I break shit.
Because you
It's
keep
fine.
breaking things. Stop kicking things.
I know I keep breaking things, but there's always a good reason. It doesn't matter what I'm trying to say. If he didn't answer until now, where do you think he's been?
In the
Yeah.
sewers, like every Nos.
That's stereotypical. We can ask him when he gets here, though.
Fine, but when he says the sewers, I want to see Elena replace the door by hand. Not Harley.
No.
And
Elena.
that is when the elevator door will open on the floor, and there's Harley. He hasn't bothered healing any damage yet. He's still rolling it. Actually, what would have happened with his hunger rating after the Vaudlery there? Because I was at 3.
It's not really enough. to
Yeah,
eat, I don't
you,
think.
you got enough to go back down to 2. So,
Well, I would have had to give 1 though, so we.
but they each gave 1 as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh,
Valid.
that was a big Baldery. Okay.
Don't argue. Just take your
Okay. All
anti-hunger.
right.
door.
All right. I'm down to 2. But
Hey,
Har-
you're up to 5.
Usually you don't get any.
but Harley's looking definitely beat to hell. But yeah, he wasn't in a position to heal up before he got here.
Elena knocked.
I see that, and the interns are still standing around.
No,
The interns
Oh.
went downstairs.
Okay.
They went to the party floor, which you
Mm.
guys haven't heard
So
of
now it's
until
just
now.
an X party with all the
Okay.
trash and stuff that
Alright.
accompanies.
What's
Yeah, so it looks like a pocket hurricane hit that particular area and then stopped at Harley's door.
what the hell happened besides the door? What happened with the hall?
The interns were looking for you, I think.
Oh, hold on. He takes out his phone and he's. Oh.
Huh.
Charlotte's gonna have to have another hiring fair. We're gonna be losing some more interns. Anyways,
Why?
the
Why?
stonks.
What happened?
The
Doesn't Charlotte have it in her contract with the interns that whatever they get off of that, she gets a percentage of anyway?
yeah. No, the AMC, the price has been bouncing all over the place, and I didn't have a chance to set everything because I went down last night under
Down into.
the sewers.
Okay.
Called it.
Okay.
I told you that was probably where he was at anyway.
Well, I didn't want to.
Oh, and that's why you kicked the door in, because that's
I
where
was
the
making
sewers
sure that
go.
he was okay.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
and you knew he was in the sewers, but just kicked in the door
Here.
anyway.
Harley's gonna walk through the
No, I
group
didn't.
and go into
Here.
his room.
He's here. He's here. He's here. He's
Why
here.
did you go to the sewers last night? Why didn't you just come home?
Harley's gonna turn on the lights and just kind of take stock of everything.
No offense to you, Harley, but you look worse than you normally do.
Yeah. You, sit down.
Oh no.
I don't
What did
like
you
that.
do, Harley?
I don't like that.
Yeah, that sounds not good.
How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good.
Oh,
Okay. Okay.
So I have a problem. So I know that, Kindred can, be like, hey, you come here, and be like on the other side of town, and you'll drop what you're doing and you'll go. So, yeah, that was what I had going on.
Okay.
Oh no, did Connor make you come to him like he did to Cassandra?
I wasn't Connor.
Okay.
I wasn't Connor.
oh, good.
Who was it?
See, I told you might have been in trouble.
It was, I don't know which one of them it was that actually did it.
I'm gonna start guessing names, and it's gonna take me a while.
it's-
So who was it?
It's Alex.
you just-
It was Alex Andrew.
Why did he make
Okay.
you go down into the sewers? He lives like up.
Unless he hangs out with Nixodon.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that is true. Nixodon did stop by at the thing.
Mhm.
Well, that can't be so bad then. Nixodon was cool.
Yeah, okay. Nixodon knows what's going on in this city, even when she's down below. Do you know what she can learn when she's actually street side?
Yeah, I imagine a
Like,
lot.
lots.
Right. So why did she need to call you all the way down there, then? If she can learn a whole bunch without even leaving.
Harley, spill it now.
So someone had to go down and answer for what happened last night.
Why did they have to do that when she was up top with us earlier that night?
I don't know.
An
Okay.
answer in regards to what?
For what happened at the party.
Okay. Why did we have to answer to her?
Well,
The only other really powerful kindred that was there.
at least that's the interpretation that I got. But, actually, I think this isn't that bad of a thing.
Convince me.
Oh, I'm.
You're skating around it too much. Just tell us.
Well, I mean, we've, Nix and Alex, they've got our best interests in mind. They've got the city's best interests in mind, right?
You're doing the thing where you qualify the thing that you're about to say.
You are.
Right. Alex's goblet.
Uh-huh.
He's got a what?
I didn't have a choice.
You're still doing the thing where you qualify. With your...
I drink their blood out of a cup.
Okay, but both of them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Why?
I'm gonna assume Elena knows what this means, correct?
Yeah.
Why
I thought
did you
so.
do that?
I didn't have a choice. But hey,
No.
like I said, no, it's a good thing.
No.
Yeah, I don't see like a problem here. What's the
No.
issue?
No.
What, you drink from people like all the time?
I don't drink from people to become part of the Sabbat.
Further qualifications are needed now.
They did use that word.
I imagine so.
Oh.
So I'm gonna cut right to the chase. I got summoned down below. I went through the maze. They asked me if I wanted their help in being able to shrug off whatever Connor did. It was a yes or no answer. And if you were in my position, you would have realized that you wouldn't have had a choice in the matter.
Oh no.
So it was either that, and we figure out how to keep the plan moving forward. That's why I ultimately ended up having to do this anyway, is because of the plan.
This is a reversible thing, right? This isn't like
I don't know how this
No.
works.
stuck
No,
forever,
no,
right?
no, 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 not like that. It's oh. No, 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 no. You don't understand that you are now. Harley,
Yeah.
I need to talk to you now.
Please do.
I think she means alone.
I think we all need to know what the hell is going on here and what we're going to expect. Please.
You know. You already know.
I didn't have a choice.
There's always a choice.
I would have died if I said no. Why does no one understand that?
No, I understand that. I
No,
just
no,
don't
no,
like
no.
it.
We were all very blind to all of this. This was all just. They knew, didn't they?
I don't. We're talking on orders of magnitude older than us. Who the fuck knows what goes through their head? I honestly don't fucking know. But
Storyteller, can I roll to see if I can put the pieces together?
Yes.
What do I need to roll?
That's a good question. Which pieces are you looking for? lot
The
of
fact
different
that
pieces that I haven't
the
played.
fact that they knew about Connor and probably may have sent him there, or lured, or something along those lines. That those pieces, because out of character, those are the pieces that I'm putting together.
I'm going to go with an intelligence and probably politics or etiquette.
All right.
Whichever one.
It's not
you
a great.
decide.
I guess not a great roll for me. Ah, I still got 3 successes though. No crits, just 3 successes.
This doesn't necessarily seem like something Nixodon would probably do. Nixodon is a little bit more straightforward than that. It's like you get the feeling when she met Cassandra that she didn't really like or tolerate Toreador's stupidity for that much. I'm not saying Toreadors are stupid or Cassandra's stupid. What I'm saying is,
Oh, Cassandra's
She
dumb
did-
as a
from a
brick.
Nos
Yeah.
elder perspective,
from a Nos elder perspective,
This isn't really her plan.
yeah, she doesn't really do the runaround thing. She does more the I'm going to tell you what to do and then you're going to do it. And then
Like what just happened.
that's it. Yeah, pretty much.
so
Harley, I
Who here still has boons with Nixodon? Okay. Who wants to cash them in to break this?
it doesn't work that way.
It certainly can. We're owed major boons, or you two are.
hey,
As far as I
How
know,
does it
there's
break?
not oh, you can't break it like that. That's not how it works.
How does it work then?
As far as I'm concerned, like I think it's very similar to the whole, like, you know, Like when you make somebody your permanent goal,
So you let it run out.
it could take a very long time to run out.
But that means also not re-upping it.
Considering how old and powerful they are, it probably doesn't have to for a very long time, and it's the way that it is.
And
I don't know how to get Harley out of this at all. Like,
Harley?
Well, look,
Harley?
if they, I mean, they've got to have they've got to have our best interest at mind for all of this. I mean, there's got to be a reason why that they would have done this if they
like me,
well,
do you remember? There was a reason for that too.
but they're
They had a reason for that too.
but they could have easily just said, hey, you know what, you done fucked up, consider the deal off.
That doesn't really benefit them, does it?
That's not how they work.
But
That's
it-
not how Sabat works. They always have a reason for what they're doing. They don't just, oh, the deal's off. No, it's not like that. If they're doing that for you, like they're doing that, then there is something. And they said,
Is it salvageable?
if they're bringing you into Sabat, then if they said Sabat, then that means what we originally thought is not accurate.
This is
There's-
salvageable.
There's no independence with them or any of it. It is. You just became part of their pack.
This is salvageable.
I mean, we can use this, right, Charlie?
Yeah.
You cannot.
Yes. He can, not very well, but he can. He can. Because we're trying to make it independent for everybody. That includes them. Which means if they try things, we will have still had the city against that notion of them trying things, with the Primogen handling it, and it's just one of him that's like that. Now, I made a suggestion to Cassandra the other day to talk to Charlotte about learning how to block out that persuasion the way that she did. And Harley, I think you might do well to do the same.
I agree.
Because even if you're stuck in this, it will give you a bit of pushback.
Okay.
Not a lot. I don't really know how this works, but it will. Something's better than nothing. And if we keep with the plan, we don't let other Primogen join, then so long as we continue the plan and do the plan, then it's independent for everybody. And that's the only way that we salvage it, short of just cutting the whole problem out.
And quite frankly, I like the company, and I need you guys now more than ever. So I don't know how we're going to move forward with this right now. I need to think. We all need to think. There's I honestly don't know what words are real right now, and what I'm just it's kind of a mess. But
The
like,
fact that you did this and are still here and okay tells me that you weren't doing some self-sacrificial shit. You thought that this was an honest to God way to actually help. So we leverage the honest to God way to help.
okay.
Because I don't know how to get you out of it, but I do know how to make you very difficult in it.
Okay.
And we just keep you from being more indoctrinated.
Yeah. Wait. I have an idea. I'm just going to present the route. I'm not going to recommend any particular course of action, but this is weird blood shit. Who do we talk to about weird blood shit?
Your not girlfriend.
And who also did I trade a boon to, Nixodon's boon to learn blood sorcery from?
You did?
Yeah, I didn't tell you guys that.
Well, now you did.
Yeah, bingo.
Okay.
What the fuck, Harley?
I mean, that's...
So, Nixodon owes Abigail a major boon. And who do we talk to for weird blood shit?
Do you think that...
I'm just presenting the path. I'm not gonna... I don't think I can speak forward.
Okay. I would like to present something to you just because... So let's say for a moment that because you did that thing, and let's act under the assumption that they are probably very much so still at the core Sabbat. Do you really think that they're going to give a damn about a Camarilla major boon? If you send Abigail down there, they're liable to just eat her.
Well, I wouldn't. I know. I'm just saying we need to think how we can use that. I'm not saying send her off like a fucking sheep. That's not how that's
Okay.
gonna work.
If they try to pull things before the plan is done, then we just sick them. We sick them on Hazoon or vice versa.
So just keep that. Let's just keep that in our back pocket in case we need it.
I may have another angle to work on it.
I'm open for suggestions.
Okay.
There just so happens to be one former Sabbat member who is part of my clan and has another establishment who could offer some insight.
Is it the pirate guy?
Yes.
What exactly is your plan with that? I mean, I can't imagine he's going to accept that you want to have a super cash discussion about this, and there's no way in hell you can tell him what actually happened.
He's not going to tell other people.
No, he might be a little bit more susceptible to talking to me, though. I think, in a weird way, we probably have this understanding.
Since when? Last time we saw him, we were all dicks to him, and then we started trying to run his club into the ground.
He's doing all right.
He's doing all right. I doubt we're his number one favorite people in the whole city, though.
But I'm still his primogen.
He's not against us. He's not going around running his mouth about us. He's not against us.
Options, though. Just
It's an option.
I'm not against it.
Maybe if we're really lucky, you can twist it around and make it seem like Connor did one. Did the Valkyrie.
That might be harder. Either way, you two need to talk to Charlotte whenever she's available from robot music time about learning how she did what she did.
Yeah. That's
Because that's the thing that's going to help with both situations.
right. So just one. I know that when it comes to those two. I mean, I know you're not going to be able to trust me. I can feel everything kind of like settling in.
We can't. From here on
I-
out, we really can't trust you so much.
I understand that. And so
In fact, we've probably already said too much in front of you.
You think that would be a problem?
It could be.
Harley, do you think that would be a problem?
I honestly don't know.
You don't know?
That's the whole point of that. It's to keep them connected and to keep the whole betrayal thing down. And
it's weird. I've never been actually fully bonded to anyone before. I mean, it feels like it, but it's not. It's different. It's like I mean, I already felt like an inherent sense of loyalty to Nyx just because she's of my clan, and I mean, she's scary fucking powerful, and so there's already a certain sense of natural obedience built in there. But I mean,
How did they call you?
What was that? I didn't hear you.
How did they call you down there?
I just felt that, like, I got pulled, like, I felt them tugging in my head, or I don't know which one of them did it.
Right, but like Connor is Cassandra's sire. There's a connection there. How did they call you? What's the connection there?
I honestly don't know. I don't know how that power works either.
How?
Look at me. Do I look like someone who's going to learn how to do that? I don't know how it works.
either way, it is very likely that if they decided to find out if they ask Harley a question and they really, really want the truth out of him,
I'm comfortable with them knowing that we're still going to make an independent Vancouver, and if they try to do things that are harmful to that we won't take kindly to it. I think we presented that pretty upfront from the start.
No, but it's like I feel something for Nyx and Alex. It's not as strong for Alex as it is for Nyx, but I mean, if I feel something for both of them, I mean, it stands. I mean, is it like a two-way street? Is that how that works?
Maybe, but you're younger.
it depends.
Don't
This
suppose
might
we
have-
could just...
They could be like me though, and that doesn't work for me.
Look, I don't suppose we could just go ask them.
Not yet. Not until you talk with Charlotte first.
Right.
I mean, I think they obviously wanted us to know. If they didn't
They
want us to
probably
know,
want
why
us
does he
all.
remember it?
They probably want us all to do it.
Yeah, Alexandra made that pretty clear when he asked us all to do it like a month and a half ago.
When I said
Okay.
no.
Well, there's a
So-
reason you didn't get summoned down there, probably.
Uh,
Charlie said no. Elena said no. Me, Harley, and Charlotte all stood around shuffling our feet.
None
I
of you
mean,
had
there's.
No, go ahead.
I mean, I could potentially tell them that I would do that.
No.
It would
If,
No.
if you say that, they'll ask you.
No. We've one of us is bad enough.
No, I'm telling you, that doesn't work for me. I don't feel that connection like that.
Do you know that
It
for a
doesn't
fact?
work.
Doesn't
I've
work one to
eaten-
one.
I've eaten a lot of kindred.
But have you
okay,
done the
so,
thing that Harley did specifically?
Um,
Because I don't know how all this wobbly wobbly blood magic bullshit
Sort of,
works,
it
but
was
this
kind of-
sounds special.
sort of. It was kind of weird, but yeah, just even when I tried, even with with Charlie's blood or your blood or Harley's blood for years and years and years, it doesn't really work for me. I don't get that connection like that.
But that's not spooky magic bullshit.
It's
That's
not
just
really
your regular
spooky
stuff.
magic bullshit. It is literally just you all. It's blood and blood, and you all get equal amounts of blood, and they do the little, oh, Sabat, yada yada yada. Welcome, brother. Blah 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 blah.
That sounds like spooky magic blood shit.
Right?
So,
But it's not like that, though. That's not like the Tremere bullshit, like what they do.
I mean, that's also spooky magic bullshit. But
Yeah, it all just sounds like spooky magic bullshit. And for the record, you probably shouldn't drink from Tremere either. Just because of the spooky magic.
I cannot
you're
say that. I
dead.
have never done that before.
he did.
I did.
So, anyways,
need
how
to-
was everyone else's night?
Not Sabati.
Harley, I need you to understand that you and I, we go back a very long
We
time,
do.
and you know me better than probably anybody else does. But you and I are not going to be able to, we're not going to be able to continue in that way. Not for a very long time. You know why.
I understand. I do. Yeah.
I'm sorry, but
Mm-hmm. I know. No, you're right. I get you. Hey, do you all mind just give me a moment? Just by myself for just a second. I just got home and I really need to get cleaned up. Please.
Okay.
Sure.
I need Abigail's number when you get a chance,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I got some stuff to show you too. Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna text Charlie Abigail's number.
Yeah, and I'll kind of like a hand on like Cassandra's shoulder, a hand on Elena's shoulder, sort of like attempt to just walk them to the ripped off door. And then just sort of like lean it back into place.
It's in several different pieces.
Then I will just lean them against each other like
Lean the
just-
largest piece.
I'll lean them against each other like some terrible like fire pit starter and just against the door.
Before you do that, as Elena is leaving out, she's gonna kind of pause for a second and look at Harley and I'm going to figure this out. I
Mm,
promise I'm not going to let that stand.
I I know, and I kind of like just kind of give her a little silent nod. And I kind of raise my voice so everyone else can kind of like hear. Hey, I get I'm kind of damaged goods right now until we get this sorted out. Um, I mean, I can tell you they didn't tell me to come up here and start killing people and start blowing shit up and start diablerizing whoever can get my hands on. So I mean, you can just give me some time to get my head straight. And I mean, don't. I mean,
That's what talking to Charlotte's for.
yeah. Uh, I mean, I, I love you guys, and um, I know that we're gonna get through this. But and I know if you need your space, well, we get this sorted out. But don't don't cut me out, please.
We're gonna
No.
figure this out.
Yeah. So just give me a moment. Then we're gonna go talk to Charlotte and get cleaned up.
Well,
Charlotte is either in her office playing robot music, or the robot music is a decoy and she's somewhere else. But
Robot
we'll
music.
get to that. We'll get to that part
he
later.
means techno and stuff.
Wait a minute. No.
Huh.
I'm gonna have to talk with her. Nothing. It's nothing important. Nothing vital, pressing. No, everything's fine. All right.
We'll talk with her later.
Yes, later.
We'll get it sorted.
Okay.
I'll just continue to lead the other two out and just again like lean the door up and I'm just gonna stand in the hallway with my hand just still on each of their shoulders and just not move from the doorway, but it's still covered.
And what is
Everything-
Harley? Sorry, go ahead.
Everything's getting all broken.
I don't know how to fix this. Not yet. It's bad.
We're
That's
gonna
all
fix.
that I know that he cannot completely have any sort of like real loyalty so much to us, whether he wants to or not.
We're gonna
It's to them.
We're gonna fix it. We're gonna fix it. We're gonna help him keep his independent thought, and we're gonna fix it. And we're gonna do it together. We're not gonna lose anybody. We're not gonna. And I'm just like, it's not like painfully, but very slowly, just like tighter squeeze on each of their shoulders, where we're not going to lose anybody.
I hope you're right. And she's going to kind of pull away, and as she's walking away, the shadows come back, and she's going back into her.
Shadow cocoon.
Yep.
I'll just stand there with Cassandra.
All broken.
Not for long.
It's always how it ends.
We're going to fix it.
Maybe.
We're going to fix it.
And Cassandra's just going to lean there and wait. He said he wanted 5 minutes.
Speaking of the 5 minutes, what is Harley doing for 5 minutes?
So after Harley will actually turn on heightened senses to make sure that they've at least pretended to move away from the door. And then once they've gotten a decent distance away, he's just gonna get naked, hop in the shower, get cleaned up. The Nas clothes are hanging out there, and he's actually going to just kind of like sit there in the shower, and it's gonna take a lot longer than 5 minutes, but he will eventually get up, get dressed. He starts packing a bag, and he kicks it underneath his bed for now. But he grabs his laptop bag. He puts the clothes back on from underneath, and then he's gonna go try tracking people down, figure out where everyone went.
Cassandra and Charlie are literally still right outside your door. We weren't paying attention inside. We're there, and Elena is the dark tunnel behind us.
I'm sure you can tell.
And that seems like a fairly good place to end it, unless there's any other pressing business. Anybody want to drink any more spat blood? Anything like that?
No,
I'm an open book.
Harley and Cass, they need a scene, but I don't think we're gonna have the time right now. Maybe, I don't know. What are we looking at?
Sort of up to
right
everyone
now,
else.
It's right at the 3-hour mark right now.
Yeah, we're possibly going over with the outros.
Yeah.
We could actually take that up quick next time. So tune in next time.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
You can see some horrible life decisions.
Like always.
We're doing fabulous, guys.
Hey, you know what? Connor didn't show up and fuck everything up more. Count it as a win.
Yeah.
Or
That's
yeah.
fair.
didn't he?
He didn't.
Dun, dun, dun. Okay.
See, that's the thing that I'm like, because Connor said something to somebody. I wasn't there, or Elena wasn't there, but Connor said something to somebody as he was leaving, but it wasn't you guys. Nosferatu can do that shit, and a very powerful one can keep from being really seen.
Mm-hmm.
All I'm gonna say.
True.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously, we have to throw glitter even after the warning that we give.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's time to start just glitter bombing every room we're in.
Yep.
It won't necessarily reveal Nixodon if she's in the room, but she'll be covered
my
in
God.
glitter. So
Could
it
you
won't be-
imagine
Yes.
how mad she'd be, though? I think
That's
she'd
the
break
point.
off your skate out of pure rage.
Oh yeah.
Glitter.
Let's
We've
make
been.
the elder Nosferatu angry enough to frenzy. That sounds
We're gonna
like it.
bedazzle the elder.
Frenzy
Amazing.
while covered in glitter.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be a fabulous final death, I suppose. So let's do a quick outro. Let everybody know where you're going to be at, what you're doing, what's coming up next, and let's start with Lex.
Hi, I'm Lex. I was Cassandra, the heartbroken Toreador today. Her family is falling apart, but that's fine. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at a redhead vixen. I am in or about to be in a bunch of games and a bunch of shows, and I'm super stoked, but I'm going to let other people promote it. So that is it for me.
And, well, okay, look on the bright side. Mom and Dad are breaking up, but you get double the presents on Christmas. So
Oh.
My family. My parents are getting a divorce. My ugly brother's all on drugs. My best friend isn't here.
Oh, Cassandra.
oh my God, we're a babysitters club.
Only two of those
Look.
things are true.
We're
Don't
a
worry.
babysitters club. Book.
Mom and
This
Dad aren't
is-
breaking
Oh,
up. I
I'm
swear.
Marianne.
Hey, welcome to Shameless the Kindred edition. Yeah.
We are
It was
actually what
always
Cliff
funny.
said. We're a telenovela.
Oh, yeah.
Patrick.
Hi, I'm Patrick Gillum, the creative director of Martlet Games. It's been an awesome night tonight. Awesome. Anyways, games. We've got Zach is going to be in our Sabat 2-shot. We've got Lex is going to be a special guest in our Cult of the Blood Gods game that we got going on over at the Onyx Path Twitch. Samantha, I'm gonna she's in stuff for Martlet
All
Games.
the things.
That
All the things.
I will let her talk about the things that she is in. I personally have this. I'm gonna be running the Blood Gods game coming up. I sat out our Sabat 2-shot so I can run tech and take notes. And as a side note, y'all done fucked up and you don't even know it. Yeah. Let's see what else. There is
be the theme for the day.
Mm-hmm. There is a third project we're not quite ready to announce yet. There is the martletgames.com website. That is just live as of this week.
Looks so snazzy.
I talked to some people and we got it looking good.
Upload it in the producer chat so we can actually have it as part of the thing when we do whatever thing over there.
Oh yeah, I could do that. Yep. Well, it's in the link tree. It's in my link tree, which is in the chat.
Oh,
if you click the link tree, the .com is actually the number one box up at the top of the list. But anyways, yeah, just it's Martlet's busy. We're everywhere. We're trying to be everywhere at once, and we're having fun though. Yeah. Move on to the next person.
That'd be. Wait, hold on. There we go. Sam.
Hey, Samantha McLarty. I played Elena Cortez, the Sombra Primogen, who is deciding to become one with her beast and
The
playing she might be a little concerned about that one. But yeah, she's playing in her shadows quite a bit now. Hopefully we'll bring Charlie over to the dark side too. We'll see. No promises. So yeah, I am in London's Bleeding, which is airing on Wednesday nights.
Nicest Ventrue.
Yes, I am the nicest fucking Ventrue ever.
Even nicer than Elena. That's hard
so
to
much
believe.
nicer than Elena. So much nicer than Elena. Yes. I'm doing that Wednesday nights at 8:30.
Yes, 8:30 Central.
8:30
yes.
Central. Yeah. Cool. And I'm also in that Sabat 2-shot game, and I'm not worried at all because I just did some stuff, and I'm feeling pretty good about my odds of making it out.
Okay.
What now? Fuck you, Patrick.
I love you.
I'm also gonna be in the Blood Gods. The Blood Gods story that Patrick's gonna run. I can't wait for that one. I'm also gonna be doing something else that's in the works with Martlet. There's a lot of stuff going on. I'm doing a lot of things. I'm also gonna be playing a D&D one-shot with Ellie Collins on July 9th. She's gonna be STing, and I'm going to be breaking out some Ravenloft things with a favorite character. So
Wait,
yeah.
You're gonna be Strahd?
No, I'm paying homage to a character that gleefully was killed in another D&D game with the lineage, the Ravenloft lineage thing that you'll see. Just watch. It's there. There's still spaces up for bid. If you follow my link tree, hit up the socials, you will see a link to it. So bid on a spot and you can play in a D&D game with myself and Ellie Collins and Hype Goblin, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, got it. Yeah, so there you go. I have a bunch of other shit happening and I can't think of all of it right now. Do the link tree, follow the sites, and you'll see all about it. Okay, bye.
On the socials. They're over there.
A thing.
I keep pointing like up all the time, but the chat is like down there when we enter it in.
It's all over.
It's somewhere over on this side.
Well, it's
At least we've
this
got the
way
right
if you're on
side
mobile and you're upright. We broke Steve.
Who watches?
We did.
Who watches this on mobile?
I
Don't
do.
watch it on mobile.
I
No,
do.
watch it full screen.
sometimes.
This show deserves the full like.
It does, but
I'm-
that's the only way I
Don't
can
make
I
me
watch
go
the
like to
damn
watch it
show
on my
when I got
fridge
kids.
Don't make me go
Sadness in
Zack Snyder
1080p.
on you. This needs like the full 50-inch like television like experience projector screen. Like sit there
Sadness
with
in
popcorn.
4K.
Yeah. And last but not least, for this time anyway, because Brennan's not here, we'll make fun of him later
That
for it.
nerd.
Hi.
Zachary.
Hi, I'm Zachary Vaudo. That is my Twitter handle, and my links are over that way or that way. It depends on what you're watching on, because life's a fucking mystery, and I'll never figure it out until we get there. Tuesdays, I'm on ATL by night. We are still in our 5th season. Things are going just fine. It's 8 p.m.
Fine.
On twitch.tv/ATL by night. I am going to be in 2 games in July, similar to what Samantha mentioned. Both are for Jasper's Game Day. One of them is a D&D game being run by Dustin Fletcher from D4, and people that are in that game include Ian Muller from Gehenna Gaming, Emily Thomas, who does Blood Bonding on ATL by night, and Hope Lavelle, who you know from quite a few things, all D&D related. She is much more famous than us, and that's very exciting, and there's seats available for that. And then that one is going to be on the 10th, I believe. Yes, that is July 10th, late night. And then I will be in another D&D campaign, game, one shot on July 11th with Vidi Veni Victory and Lily Sparks, being run by Joe Cat, who some of you may know from the Crap Guide to D&D YouTube videos that he made explaining all the wonderful classes of D&D. He'll be running that game as well. Very excited to be in both. Seats are available for both. Same sort of link that Samantha mentioned. But even more important than all of that is right now,
This game.
this game. But this game just ended. And as this game has ended, you are all late to go watch the Cyberpunk one-shot that is happening on Gehenna Gaming right now that has Lex as a character, along with Ellie Collins, Elise Hawes, and the Riddler, is Vampire 2099. It's a V5 one-shot on Gehenna Gaming Saturday Night One-Shots. We are in it right now. I cannot tell you how far along we are in it right now, but if you tune in, you'll find out along with me. So we're over on twitch.tv/Gehenna Gaming as we speak.
I have several things to add on to Zach's thing. One of which is go bid on those seats. And if you can't bid on those seats, if they're slightly outside of your price range, help spread the word. Jasper's is awesome. I cannot say enough good things about that organization. They're great. We've done fundraising for them in the past with the D&D game that we had. And for the second thing, if Spider-Man doesn't show up in that 2099 game, I'm going to be extremely disappointed.
I will give you Clinging of the Insect, and that's my final offer.
Okay. That works. And for that, we are, yes, as Zach mentioned, we are switching up the order ever so slightly. We're going to be raiding into Gehenna Gaming from here, and from there, they're going to raid into Rolling D20s. So it'll be kind of a, helping out the entire family as much as we can. So I'm Storyteller Steve. There's a bunch of random awesome shit that's coming up. There is the preparations for a Changeling ongoing game that are happening right now as we speak, because I just got another message from the person running it. There is obviously the Saturday Takeover, which you're pretty much, midway through at this particular point in time. There is the D&D game on Tuesday, and there's another one starting probably next week, if not the week after, on Sundays, which will be run by Sarah, who's also in the other D&D game. So it's just a bunch of awesome shit that's happening. That's all happening because of Vancouver by Night and how awesome all of my players are, which these guys are awesome. Go to their socials, check them all out, click like, share, subscribe, whatever. Also, I think there's something that Lex may have forgotten.
Maybe.
Your book?
Oh.
Yes, of course. My book is out right now. I will, or Steve will, be posting the link in the chat for the first book and the second book. I think it's excellent. I've had some great reviews on it. It's a really fun book about female empowerment in middle age and how, life doesn't end after the age of 30. And it's all wrapped up in this story of sexy vampires and sexy demons. So if you like sexy demons and also you like female empowerment, come check it out.
That's my type.
Well, I'm sold.
Jinx!
There's also a chance that I might be doing readings of it at some point along the Vancouver by Night channel. We'll see.
Yes, there will be some ASMR readings of not only famous works of literature that are surprisingly in the public domain now.
I was just going to say public domain literature.
Yeah.
But there will also be some readings of this lovely lady's book as well, which you tune in for that. We're also probably going to get Patrick, Strong Arm Patrick, into doing some ASMR at some point.
His audition went so well last time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So we're going to raid over to 2099, get some Clinging the Insect in, and we will see you in just a few minutes. Tune back in next week to see what these fine people are up to now that they're making awesome life decisions that are, there's no consequences whatsoever.
The best.
Mostly.
The best life decisions ever.
All right. See you guys later. Bye.
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 See you in the future.